Welcome back once again to the number one source of information for the most underrated career opportunity in business today. That is a career in the insurance industry. We're talking about information, education, inspiration, motivation, all those Asians to get you going. And this is the podcast edition. Today we have a phenomenal guest, and this is your host, Rod Powell, but a phenomenal guest who really is doing some innovative things in the industry, has been in the insurance industry for about 10 years, native of Los Angeles, was formerly in the marketing arena with some software and technology development, has built an incredible business on the insurance side as well. And really excited to kind of hear about his journey and share his story with everyone who's going to be, listening and watching this, if you end up watching it on YouTube. And that is from Financial Literacy Group, the CEO himself, Mr. Ron "The Man" Harris. Ron, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much, Rod. Good to see you.
Hey, it's good to see you as well. And, this is, we talked, previously, so I'm excited for, the listeners and the people who are checking out this platform to really get the opportunity to get to know you and learn about what you're doing on the business side. I think it's pretty innovative. So, in this forum, we like to, talk about the insurance industry, but there's a lot of different segmentations when you say insurance. We speak to people in property and casualty, speak to people in life and health. We speak to people on a variety of different sides of the business, but you're actually taking a couple of different industries and kind of putting them together in the insurance space. So what I'd like to do is just take a minute, if you could just share, what market segment do you really focus on, and how do you actually conduct business in this space, in the insurance industry?
So how we conduct business, I would say we consider ourselves a financial wellness company. And what our goal is, no matter which market we are working with, is to help our clients optimize their financial position. Okay. And we think we're really effective with that. So, I would say we started off with individuals and families, and we still do. That's probably the main part of our business, but we're really moving into the small business, the small business market segment, and doing the same thing with working with employers and helping them with their employees to optimize their financial position, which then, of course, helps the employer help them with their productivity and workplace culture and on and on and on.
Yeah. So it's really bringing, a lot of value, to the marketplace. I mean, financial literacy is certainly a big conversation. And, I think that, it's kind of I would say kind of a secret, if you will, kind of a best kept secret, how, insurance products can be utilized to build wealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also how you can apply your surplus income into insurance products to really leverage some of those benefits on a tax basis as well. And I know with what you're doing and what you guys are doing at Financial Literacy Group kind of really drives, that education, for folks, and also the solutions to allow those things to happen. So before we get more into that, I want to take a minute, because people find their way into this business in a variety of different ways. I just kind of want to start back, at the beginning. You're not new to business, but I want to go all the way back, even before your business career. I want to go to like a 9-10-year-old, Ron Harris. And I want you to just share, like, what did you dream of doing?
You know what? I have always wanted to be in business, man, and back then I bought bikes, sold parts, I mean, it's been from the beginning. I was entrepreneurial from as far back as I could remember. So, and it never stops. That drive, is part of me. and I'm continually looking for solutions, is what I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
So business, has always been, where you've been rooted, and you just continue to build on that. So I know you joined, you got licensed in 2012, correct?
That's right. That's
So
correct.
10 years. Congratulations on that 10-year anniversary. 10 year,
Yeah.
10-year anniversary. I'm a 2012,
All right.
licensee as well.
Okay.
So prior to entering this industry, you were already in marketing, right? So
Yes.
and solution. Tell me a little bit about that. Tell me a little bit about your career journey and kind of how you actually got to
Sure.
this place, or to 2012. Then we'll talk about the last 10
Yeah.
years.
So I was born in Los Angeles. I grew up in LA. We moved to a suburb of LA. And that kind of opened up a different world to me. And it was kind of a bridge to, what happened after that. Is kind of embarrassing thing. So when I in high school, I was good at baseball, but I was too small, as my parents said, for football, so they wouldn't let me play. So I got a scholarship for baseball at Northern Arizona University, and I walked on and tried out for football. I made the team, and in the first game, running a kickoff back, I broke my collarbone. I lost my baseball scholarship, and it just had happened before, after graduation from high school. I had taken a trip around Europe, and I had visited this campus near London. And I ended up going there. I was so embarrassed about what had happened. I wanted to get as far away as I could.
So you had to leave the country.
So I ended up living in the UK for 6 years. And so I got my education over there. And even there, I found ways. My parents helped me the first semester, and pretty much I paid for college, and I did it, through, innovations and businesses, and, and all of that kind of stuff, promotions and marketing. So I started early, graduated from school, and I started a marketing company. Back in 91, and I grew it pretty large. I had it for 14 years. I went through a divorce, and that's how I kind of ended it. But I grew it to maybe $5 million a year. We opened up a shop, and we were not only doing marketing or marketing products and services, but we were also doing embroidery and screen printing and warehousing. So I grew with that as well. So I was in a really large building. And so when I went through the divorce and, kind of downsized the business, I actually kept it while I went out and started another career in the corporate world, kind of in the printer industry. And there, I continued to do the same thing. And by the way, my forte or what I did well was to really be able to communicate technical information, or working with companies or business owners that were outside of the country that wanted to sell their products into the country. So I was able to, communicate what they wanted to say to the American population. So I took that into the printer industry after that, and I again couldn't rest just working for someone. And I started another company, which was a technology company, which I put together, worked with a partner who had created the software. It was a managed print company. It's called an MPS. And what it does is it's a software that goes out and finds the printers in a network and reports back everything, what's going on the console, if they're having paper problems, if they're out of toner. And then we set up the infrastructure to deliver the toner and all of the supplies and the maintenance. And so we did that nationwide. And then we actually moved it into what is called the managed services arena. So if you're familiar with that, outsourced network management is what they do. And so companies like who's really famous now, SolarWinds, who was hacked, right? That's what they do. And so I found a great way to do it there. I actually integrated the solution into their network platform. So it was just a push of a button for them to launch it into the networks.
Yeah.
And from there, I sold the company and I got involved in the printer industry after that.
Wow. Nice. You're kind of a rare bird, in the fact that, you have the marketing background, which is kind of right brain, right? Because it's like really kind of a creative aspect. And then you have the technology background, which is kind of left, which is very left brain,
Yeah, it's true.
analytical.
Yeah.
Like, how does that, it's like, how did that influence, your move to diverge in, like, going from marketing technology, then entering, financial services? How did you find that fit? How did you find that groove?
So, everything that I do, I look at it as a business, and we're not selling a product, or we're not manufacturing a product. We are a sales and marketing company that's offering, or a solution or a product. And that's how I look at everything. So when I made the transition from the printer industry or the corporate world into the insurance industry, I was green, definitely, but I was looking for an avenue, or looking for a place that I could establish myself. I had actually had a cousin who had owned a farmer's, one of their, he was a manager and owned a couple, actually, locations for farmers. Okay. And he had done really well. And so I thought, hey, I could do something like that. And so again, I'm very good at sales, and I'm very good at marketing, and I'm also very technical. And I have to tell you the truth, man, I don't sleep at night. I'm telling you, it's like I'll wake up in the middle of the night. I have things going, through my head. Now I'm recording them on my phone, and it's like, it's a continuous thing, both technologically and as far as creatively as well.
Yes, yes. So so you said you had a cousin who had a farmer's agency. You kind of saw that. You said, hey, look, here's another opportunity. So when you decided that you were going to make that shift from that space, and I think it's interesting how you said, you might wake up in the middle of the night. There's always, different ideas going off, different things that are happening, and the way that you position the business, saying, hey, look, we're a sales and marketing company, and basically the product or the solution that we provide, that's kind of the call to action. So was that your thought with insurance as well? You said, hey, look, it's about creating the awareness, creating and crafting the message, and then the call to action is making sure you're protected.
Yes. And I started off actually in the health, a space, selling Obamacare. And I did really well, with it. And it started to give me more ideas. I started thinking more and more about how I could sell life insurance. We did sell supplemental insurance or gap insurance with the health insurance, but I started to think about how I could sell more life insurance. And so I got involved with the company, and it was lucky because a few years back we were digital already, and so when COVID came in, we were established that way, so it actually increased our business. And then lucky enough to learn about the technology, which is part of our solution. And, and that was kind of a lucky, just one of those things, you're keeping your eyes open, you're looking for opportunities, and, and actually the technology took me away from the life insurance sales for a short time, because it was really fascinating. Yeah. But then to really figure out especially with the changes in the IRS code, the 7702 and the 101A, allowing us to do what we're doing with the combination of the two. Now I'm back to both of them, and I'm really thinking of ways to use it, and places, and so how I go to market really and truthfully is I'm thinking of ways that we can use the solution to solve common problems for people.
Yeah. No.
Right.
So let's talk about that, because you mentioned some terms in there, and we got to educate. We got to educate the people on this. All right. So, and you're right. You're spot on. Like you've had these rich experiences, marketing, technology, financial services, bringing them all together, and now what you're doing incorporates the technology and the financial services. Let's unpack that a bit. So started in the industry with Obamacare is Affordable Care Act. For those listening, it's same thing. If somebody says Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, same thing. Right. That's the government provided insurance that can be subsidized depending on income and living situations. But from there, you branched off into the life arena. Then you got into the technology. Let's talk about that, because even when you talked about your market segmentation early on, you mentioned providing solutions, right? You mentioned financial education and literacy and generational wealth. But let's talk specifically about how you're doing that, because how you're doing it is actually pretty cool. So tell me about the technology solution that you're using now, and how you built this company, bridging that with your insurance expertise as well.
So I started the technology part of it, of course, is the core, because what it gives an individual to me is immeasurable. So first, I can plug your numbers into this technology, which is driven by a mathematical algorithm, and it will calculate the fastest mathematical path for you to get to zero debt, right? Doesn't matter what kind of debt you have. It can be, secured debt or unsecured debt. It is just like the Terminator, and it will do this without changing your budget or your lifestyle. So it's using the money you're not using in your budget, and it has a method of paying down the debt that just speeds it up to just crazy speeds. I'm talking about paying off a mortgage in 5 years. Okay. And so, when I learned about the tech, so I started off in the insurance first, and I started building the solutions based on, an insurance, because that's just the way my mind works. It's not just to go to market with the product itself, but what supports it. What is a co-op? And I'm thinking in that way where maybe I can end up doing a co-op with that partner or whatever. So I started thinking financial wellness. And when I learned about the debt technology, and so when in building this financial wellness ecosystem, it started off with insurance related products, and then it grew to more, I guess you could say, credit or debt, solutions. And so the technology fit right into what I was doing, because we had already created, because we had the insurance, we were digital. We had created a financial literacy program that is online. So people could take it at their own pace, and content. We have just literally professionally written content that just tons of it. And then the technology fit in because it actually makes people more financially literate. Mm-hmm. It is a bridge into thinking a different way. And one of the hardest things, I think, is when you get people involved in the technology, is that they've been paying their debt and operating, a certain way all of their lives. Now they have this technology that's telling them to do things in a totally different way, some things that they would not even do. And now it puts everything right in front of them. It shows them the repercussions for every financial decision they make. It works like a bookkeeper. It shows them the money they're wasting. They can see the true cost of things. They know, because they can measure whether using credit in this situation or writing or paying check, or if you can do it because the system is keeping track of your cash flow and your money. And so it puts you on a totally different place. The report that we generate from it gives that person an analysis on their debt, their cash flow, how much money they're spending on interest, how much they're spending per dollar of premium they pay. I mean, it just breaks it down to to an incredible amount of information for them, and it's there. And then as they start the process of getting out of debt or paying off a mortgage, it shows them exactly where they are. It's displaying how much interest they just saved, how much more principal they have to pay, when they're going to be debt free. And every move, it continues to show that. So if they make a transaction after that, right, it will still pay down the new transactions, the new debt. And so they can forecast, they can see what's possible. And when I demo the solution, I showed them how they can buy 3 houses: 1 they're living in, 2 they're renting out, and have them all paid off in 16 years, right? And save $400,000 in interest. So it is, and the thing about it is, it's because there are people out there that say they have debt tools and so on and so forth, but nothing like that. There's nothing like this out there. It is just one of those kinds of tools that is irreplaceable. It's not like guessing to pay down your debt or anything like that. And then the coupling of it, because it uses an offset account. So in the beginning, it used a home equity line of credit as what we call the offset account, because the algorithm was written to use that kind of debt, right? Because it was readily available in the early 2000s. And so it manipulated an opened-end line of credit to defeat a closed-end loan. And so now what we're doing is, over the last 17 years, first of all, we started using different types of offset accounts, from checking accounts to savings accounts to PayPal. And then we, of course, entered the asset-based life insurance after the change in the laws in the CARES Act in 2020, at the end of 2020, which allowed people to put more money into their life insurance policy. And so now, with the technology guiding them step by step like a GPS, and substituting the offset account or savings, say it was a savings account, with the life insurance policy, allows them to take that money in a compressed period of time and take their debt, what they're going to be paying off, put it into the life insurance policy, and then borrow it out. So the life insurance policy is not normal. It is also liquid. So it has the same characteristics as a line of credit.
Yeah.
And it allows them to put the money into the life insurance policy, borrow against it, and turn their debt into income and wealth.
See, now this is the fascinating piece here, because what you're doing is you are not leveraging the life insurance policy for what most people would think of it as, and that's a death benefit. You're utilizing it as an income building tool.
That's right.
That's right. That, I think that is really that's really where the innovation comes in, and we do talk about, when we think about life insurance, we do talk about the fact that, hey, you have cash value building policies. You can, borrow against those policies, or you can fund those policies to the point where they're paying out distributions and they can be tax-free income. We talk about those things for those who work in the life insurance space, but to use it in conjunction with this software that eliminates the debt and allows you to, essentially what you're doing is you're using your life insurance policy to pay down your mortgage and absorb all of the debt that you would have as well. Is that about right?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. You're becoming your own bank. So you end up making the interest that the bank would be making on you because you're now your own bank. So, that's exactly what it is. And so, you've been around, this is not, infinite banking and those kinds of things are not new. So this kind of turns infinite banking on its head because as we know, with an infinite banking, they're using whole life policies, and the insured is funding it with his premium payments over 25, 30 years. Here, and the goal, like you said, with with that infinite banking is to have a very large death benefit, to have a big death benefit. So they can borrow from the money. That's why it's called banking, but they want them to pay the loan back, right? So they buy a car, they borrow money, and then they pay it back so that the money is there for the death benefit. Where we're, first of all, funding the policy with their debt, and the technology is instructing someone to overfund their policy in as little as 5 years. So that money is in the policy in a very fast amount of time. So we're condensing the funding of the policy. And then because of the way it's structured, the policy is liquid. It's indexing. They're making the spread on 4% and the index amount. And so the way it works is they end up borrowing from the cash value in their policy for the rest of their lives, and they never pay the loan back. And because it's a loan, there's no interest on the money that they borrow out. Right. So if you're in your 20s, you can count on being a millionaire, right? I mean, if you're, in your 30s, you're most likely, right? If the sooner you start, and one of the great things about this is it is bringing us a younger clientele, right? Who may think life insurance alone, right, is they're young,
not so cool,
not right?
Cool,
you know what I mean?
About it, right?
But to do it to make money, right? They're looking, they're open to that. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
No, it's like I said, it's just a new method of communication, which once again is your specialty. Come being in marketing, having that background, it's like, hey, how do you communicate it to the audience that's gonna be able to benefit from it the most, right? And it sounds like really, these are solutions that anyone could benefit from. As we talk on this platform, we talk about, how to leverage the career opportunity. So this is, so not only for a younger person as a client, but it's a great opportunity for a younger person to not only participate, or really anyone to participate, but also to get more financially savvy in the process, be in control of their finances in the process, and also, really get educated on how, these insurance policies work as well, because, you have different types of as you mentioned infinite banking. You have the whole life, which is
that's right,
kind of that set premium, set interest rate.
Yes,
typically a little bit more pricey.
That's right.
Front end. Then you have the universal life, which works like the whole life, is designed to be permanent, give you kind of a set premium, but a little bit more flexibility pricing wise, maybe even a little bit more flexibility from an interest standpoint.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
So it's an opportunity to learn that also. So how are you seeing, that really present itself as a way to get, new people who haven't thought about being in the industry before to get them engaged either with technology or insurance?
So, and that's a great question. So first of all, when, and I did mention the infinite banking, but if you look up BOLI, anyone, which is bank-owned life insurance, this is the way the banks are using life insurance. They're using it for its cash value. And in fact, Bank of America has $24 billion in life insurance. How did they get that much in life insurance? So as far as agents, there's a lot of noise out there. right? There's a lot of people who say they have a great new solution and they have, so you have to be able to get past that noise to get to, and hopefully that's why I'm here to help me do that. And this is a great way for a new agent to get into life insurance, right? And because I believe that this is going to revolutionize the way life insurance is offered. I think that this is going to open the door, and in 3, 4, 5 years from now, there will be 30% of the life insurance agents that will be selling life insurance this way, because it is right. If I have this saying, if you put 100 people in a room and you say, raise your hand if you want to talk about life insurance, and you're going to have very few. But if you have those same 100 people in the room and you say to them, who wants to pay off their debt, be debt free in 5 years, pay off a mortgage and eliminate interest and so on and so forth, how many people are going to raise their hand? There's going to be a lot more of them that do. Now you're in the door. So we are advisors, and the impact that we have on a client, especially in the financial wellness world with an employee, right, is we are, first of all, making them learn, because our courses are, they're pretty progressive as far as, making them think about being like the rich and getting out of the cycles that they get in. And then we do an analysis, which is the report that comes from the technology. And again, the numbers, it is detailed, and it tells them the frank truth about their situation. And it also gives them a route to get out of that. And it shows them exactly where they can be in 5 years or 7 years or whatever the number is. And it's life-changing. Just the technology alone is life insurance. Coupled with the life insurance, it's life-changing. Yeah. There will be people who are, who will retire with dignity, who never thought they would retire with dignity, turning their debt into income, right? We all have debt, right? And so when you can turn debt into income in this way, right? I used to say, with just the technology, if you're in your 60s, you're going to think twice about buying a house. You'll be 90 when you pay it off in 30 years. But if you can pay it off in 5 or 7 years, that's a game changer. Just that alone, it puts you in a different place. But now you can take, you create debt and you turn the debt into income and wealth. It's game changer. So for agents thinking about getting into life insurance, this is something that is going to make it totally easier. You asking about, do you understand this? The customers come to us. We advertise. We started off as a marketing company, so we advertise on social media. They come to us. They book appointments in our calendar. My calendar is full. I have 25 to 30 sits a week if I want, every week.
So just it's an opportunity, and you know what? It's one of those opportunities that is really accessible to anyone who wants to take advantage, but it's also an opportunity where you're just adding a tremendous amount of value to everyone that you can help. Yep.
To the agent, because it's very lucrative, but to the client, right? We're changing their lives, both cases.
Everybody, yeah. And even from what you shared with me on the platform is, someone can do just the technology portion before, like while they're working towards getting their license.
That's right.
They could be educating folks about the technology and helping them do these analyses of their debt, of their income, kind of start to refine and revise, their budget plan. I think it's just a really just a great opportunity for people to get more financially, once again, literate.
Yeah.
and aware.
And by helping them, you help yourself because you become wiser about your money and you start to look at it totally different, especially because we do our own installs and we help them. So, you know, the kind of the progress, the way it progresses is we will do the first meeting and we introduce and we show them how the technology works. We introduce the life insurance. And then in the second, we show them their actual numbers in the technology and how fast they'll be debt free. And then they go into training for the next 4 weeks. And in the second week, we ask them, so you're going to pay off your debt. The technology is showing you can be done in 7 years. And that's just using your savings account. So do you want to just use your savings account or do you want to use the life insurance policy?
Yeah.
That's the sell.
Yeah. So which one?
Right.
So, yeah, no. I think it's like I said, once again, just a great opportunity all the way around, you know, for both the client and for the agent.
Yeah.
So at this stage, you know, this is rolling. You guys are operating throughout the country.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, pretty much any state
all 50 states. Yep.
And if someone's looking for an opportunity, you know, it doesn't matter where they are. If they're in California, if they're in Maine, if they're in, you know, Virginia, Florida, Texas, whatever.
Yeah.
You can work with them.
And because the leads, if they're doing it that way, because of course we're also going out and reaching out to businesses. So that's more on a control on our side. But when we're bringing the leads in, and by the way, guys, the leads are only $22 a piece. And so when we're bringing the leads in, we can't control where they come. So for me, I have my license in 40 states. So, and you might think, wow, that's a lot of states. Yeah, it is. But when I have a client that is getting ready to buy the life insurance policy, you know, you can get your license in a couple of days. Yep. And so, you know, primarily that's the way I do it. So it's not like I'm going out and, you know, getting my license everywhere. I'm doing it because I'm going to make money there. So absolutely.
Yeah. And we've talked, you know, just to kind of piggyback on that a little bit, we've talked on the platform a little bit about, you know, reciprocity and kind of how that works from state to state. But, you know, if you have the license in your resident state, you know, you can just apply online through NIPR or CIRCON, and you can get, you know, a license in another state. You just need to pay the fee for it. You know, unless it's like a crazy state like New York or Florida, you might have fingerprints or something.
Yeah.
You know, but if your home state is California, you're good. You already
already did it. Yeah. And one of the most stringent states. That's right.
You know, so you know, you do that. You know, you can pay that fee in a couple of days. You'll have a license in that state, and really, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because if you are going to sell a policy, and let's say you're going to earn, you know, $1,000 or $1,500 on an actual policy, or maybe even more, because, you know, in this instance, the policy premium is going to be larger.
Yes.
Based on, you know, what they're contributing into the policy.
Yes.
So this is a little bit different. Is a little bit different.
Let me just say this. What we do is very lucrative, first of all. So we get paid on the target premium. Every agent has a 90% contract. Okay. And the target premium averages $8,000. So that's $8,000. And the technology, we get paid between $900 and $1,500 on the technology as well. So, right. And so you understand it is very, very lucrative. Right. You know, so agents can do very, very well with it. And the best part about it, you're doing well because you're helping a client. You're helping a client, right? After you know about this, I'm sorry, guys. Now that you know all about this, it's your fiduciary duty to tell everybody you know, right?
That's it.
Right? You can't just go on without it now, right? Right. So
you can change a whole community, you know,
right.
with these mindsets.
Well, in fact, we are, and in fact, you led into that. So not only are we doing working with small businesses and working with individuals and families, but we're launching community initiatives because this works for underserved communities. This is This corrects any problems with credit, and right. I mean, it makes their credit better. It gets them in a better position. The reason people have problems saving money, the reason people have problems getting ready for retirement, it's debt, right? When you get someone out of debt, you've changed their lives, right? So we're doing it in communities. In fact, I was going to just mention, because we were just talking about California. So I launched an initiative. I'm continually trying new marketing. So with this solution, I have devised a solution or created a solution that helps parents send their kids to college without taking student loans. Wow. So, and this solution will do this, right? So they start, making the money from the technology or from the cash value in their technology. They send the kids to school. They then continue to invest the money, and then they have them. It continues to come in when they retire. So,
and more.
Right, that's right. So, in California, I've been testing it, and I've been sending it out to the parents of middle schools, right, and to see what the response would be. And in California, I'm continually getting turned down because you have to go through the school district in order to contact them. And in California, I was continually getting turned down. They wanted you to be a nonprofit before the district would approve you. I went into Texas and Atlanta after that, and I'm getting approved everywhere. So, California, man, it is right. It's one of those states.
It is. Once you get in California, you're okay. Look, so now I know that you've been doing this a while. You were even doing the software solution. I think I saw like that's been happening since the mid 2000s. Kind of building up from there and then incorporating the insurance piece in the last decade. I mean, how do you stay motivated with this?
Oh man, it's fun, right? Just like I was saying right now, putting together solutions for communities. It's my passion, right? I mean, to help people who probably would not retire with dignity. I'm motivated to do that. So I'm motivated, to help people in urban communities. That's my biggest passion. And so that's where, I'm using it for everyone because, right, it belongs to everyone. And believe me, guys, this is not a normal solution. This is a solution. The technology itself is one of a kind, and the way it fits with the life insurance is definitely one of a kind. So I want to spread the word, man. That's why I'm motivated.
I love it. So once again, you were already successful in business before getting your insurance license, but I do want to know, do you feel like having the license has changed you as a person in any way? If so, how?
Well, when you get your license, and I had to do my CE just like a few months ago, it's all ethics. So you start to think about, the actual, as an insurance agent, what you are doing, who you are, right? And people are depending on you. And you're not really a fiduciary with this license, but still you have to act like one. You have certain duties and certain ethics that you have to keep up. And I think that, as an insurance agent, I'm a professional and I look at it that way. And so, again, just to kind of give you an idea. So I had sold, hundreds of the technology, before I coupled the life insurance. And however, now I've called back all of them. I have to call them back and tell them there is a better offset account, right? There's something better. I can't leave you with the savings account. I have to, or whatever. And Absolutely. So yeah, and
definitely
and
not
that's
savings
right.
account.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, you're losing money.
I didn't mean to jump in there, but I'm like, no, not the savings account.
Yeah. We one of my partners, he has this word. How does he say it? He calls it something to save. The way he says it is this, like a savings account. Just like right. Like it's just like bad. Yeah. Your money is not working for you for sure.
Slaving account.
That's right. Yeah.
More like it. But no, absolutely. And you mentioned an ethics piece. I think just this career path. Our industry, just working inside of it. It gets it gets such a bad rap or misinterpretation. I think from maybe things that were uh, maybe isolated incidents, or one person did this, or someone knew someone 30 years ago, and particularly in African American communities, somebody knew someone 30 years ago, and they were doing this, and this is how it went. It gets such a it gets such a perception, where people kind of shy away from it before they even really learn about it, and really learn how embedded it is in every other aspect of their life, and how powerful of an industry it is.
It is, and it's true. You offering a solution, with life insurance like this, it changes the way you think about it. Like I said, I mentioned BOLI, and you guys should all look it up and see how the banks are using it. And it's also COLI, the corporations do it. So when I introduce the life insurance product to a prospect, I take them through BOLI. There's a process. I ask them, what do the banks want from us? And I tell them how the banks use money, how their money never sits still. It's always making money for them. And I say how they take even our checking accounts and our savings accounts, and they loan that money to other people, and they give us less than 1% back. And then, but to think, you think about it this way, and I've mentioned it, that Bank of America has so much money, and Wells Fargo's right behind them. And you think about how they are using life insurance, and they are the companies that know money. They're in the business of money. A bank would not go to another bank and borrow money and get the same terms as they give us, right? So there is a reason why they're using life insurance, right? So we know it's not new. The wealthy do it, right? The banks invest in other people's life insurance policies, right? And business owners, we as business owners, your key people, your executives, you can take out life insurance policies on them, and you, the business owner, own them. You can do the same thing, right?
It's insurable interest.
And that's right. And it's for sure, they can borrow against it. It's cash reserve. It's cash values growing, right? There's no taxes when you take it out, when you borrow it. I mean, think about that. Do you think, so if you have 401k, right? You have an IRA. Do you think that in the future, taxes are going to go down, stay the same, or go up?
Oh, we know the answer to that question. It's going up.
That's right. So if you have deferred taxes,
I don't know what gas is in California right now.
Oh man, it's
gas is $4 a gallon in Virginia.
It's $6-7, man. $6.
Wow. Yeah. So it's going up. We know it's going up. Everything.
Yeah, man. Right. Yeah. So
you got to get a license just to keep up with gas. Look.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Truly. No, but no, it's just amazing information, Ron. I know I've said that kind of a few different times, a few different ways, but I think it really is phenomenal what you and your team are doing, and the opportunity that you're introducing to others. Question for you.
Sure.
At this point in your career, in your life, in your journey, what's the dream now for you? What's the next big thing for Ron Harris?
Well, I really want to establish a nonprofit and be able to offer this solution to people, right? Because even now, and I have to say it, it's a lot of times I'm just sad because sometimes it's the people who need this the most that can't qualify for it or whatever, right? And so to be able to know that everybody who needs it, who needs this solution, can get it, who can qualify for it, can get out of debt. So a nonprofit is right, is what I am going to be starting. Absolutely.
Nonprofit.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. It's all about that service,
man. On the other side, just so you know, I had a boat. So when my son, believe it or not, he's in Russia right now, and so he grew up like from maybe 3 years old to 12. During the time I had the business, I sold the boat after, and so I want another boat. Right. That's it's one of my. I want a bigger one. A bigger boat,
There you go.
I'm Captain Ron,
There you go. Well, on your son, as we're wrapping up here, I mean, he's in Russia, but he's like a crypto wonder kid right now, right?
He is. That's right. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's I thought I was technical. That guy, he's technical, man.
No, that's phenomenal. That's a testament to you. You know what I mean? It's like when you do it right, you see it see it how it presents itself, with them.
Yeah.
So look, before we close out, if there is any advice that you would give to someone, let's say they listen to this conversation, they heard what you said, and they like, hey, maybe I'm thinking about it. Sounds pretty good. What would be, some guidance or some thoughts that you would share with that person that might be on the fence about whether or not they should join the opportunity or not?
So let me say this: when I first came in, and I sold health insurance, and the way we sold it, because the insurance industry, there's lots of companies that are out there looking for the new guys, right? The new guys that just got their license because, they can take advantage in most cases. And so I've been around the block when it comes to that and faced, different things and seen different solutions. And in my past life in marketing, I became famous in Southern California. If you go to my Facebook, you can see the celebrities and all that kind of stuff that I used to work with, and because I became famous in Southern California, people used to bring businesses to me. Hey, so what do you think about this? Can this be marketed? Is this a viable product? Does this? So I've seen hundreds of different products and solutions. I've never seen one better than this.
Wow. That's big words.
I've never seen one better, man. This is where I'm hanging my hat. I'm telling you that right now, and it's good. Yeah, it's good.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Ron, look, for that person who just heard what you said and they want to get in contact with you, they want to reach out, they want to find out more. Anybody who's listening who just wants to, they want to see those pictures. How do folks get in contact with you after they finish listening to this and seeing this?
So you can visit my website. First of all, that's financialliteracy.group. So you can visit there. You can email me at ron@financialliteracy.group as well. If you want to see the business side, you can go to bettermentinc.com. So Betterment Inc. has its own website. It is the financial wellness solution as an employee benefit. And so you can go there and you can definitely contact me from any one of those. My phone number, 323-419-1600, extension 1005. Look forward to talking to you.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you very much. Make sure you reach out, financialliteracy.group. And, we also have an affiliate link as well that we'll be sharing out through the platform. So you can go ahead and get into that technology. But Ron, I want to say thank you so much for being here. I think what you're doing is really phenomenal. It is innovative. And for those who are listening, there's a couple of different ways that you can go. You can do it through the software, and while you're working, in that capacity towards getting your license, you could still be, earning and starting your career in the industry.
Right.
And then you can get your license and kind of put those two things together. So, maybe you heard something in this conversation that has you, scratching your head and maybe rubbing your chin and saying, maybe, you should get a license. So, thank you.
So we average $13,000 per client as a commission.
I think, listen, now we've said that there's a lot of income opportunity in this industry, but here you go, right here. I don't know if anything else needs to be said. That's an average. So, hey, I'll let you take it from there. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Thank you, Ron. And until next time.
All right.
All right.
Cool. Thank you.